Edinburgh University was one of the core participants in the 2018 industrial action strikes. The dispute centers on UUK's proposals to end the defined benefit element of the university's superannuation scheme pension scheme. UCU says this would leave a typical lecturer almost £10,000 a year worse off in retirement than under the current setup. Defining civil disobedience as a non-violent means to achieve a goal, we asked some of the university's finest lecturers a variety of questions concerning the strikes.
Yes, so I went on strike for the first time.
I did participate in the strikes and I wasn't paid, so it affected my paycheck. Also, it, I guess, influenced some debates here in the department about the pension policy in the university, but also led to interesting sort of experiences of solidarity, given that we were out on the picket line all freezing together early in the morning.
So I'm not naturally someone who agreed with the union, and I hadn't actually been a member of the union before the strike started. But what I think motivated me was it was the issue of principle, and also because I felt that the way the universities handled it wasn't very open or transparent, and there seemed to be difficult to have a debate about something when you disagree about the facts, and there was disagreement about the facts, like was the pension in deficit, was it not? And I just felt that the universities handled it in quite a bad way, where they were sticking to a line that people could have legitimate disagreements about, and so it was more for me the handling of it that motivated me to do it for the first time.
Motivations for going on strike?
So I was a contract faculty member at the time, so I wasn't directly going to be implicated. My pension wasn't going to be implicated, but I went on strike out of solidarity for those who would be impacted, knowing that the university system is increasingly precarious and relying on that. So I suppose my primary motivation was more to resist the continued or the further neoliberalization of education, given that not only it impacts staff experiences, but it also filters down to students as well.
Yeah, I think it has been. So what the strikes produced was that the universities agreed that they would set up an independent panel of pensions experts and representatives from the union, representatives of the employers, and they would try to discuss whether the methodology they used to work out whether there was a pension deficit or not, they got together and they worked out well, and they've now concluded that maybe the universities were being a bit too conservative in their estimate and have put forward proposals, a compromise between the two positions, and I think that's probably a good outcome.
Perfectly.
Yes, I mean, I would say it was successful, and that it did achieve it achieved something. It wasn't the outcomes weren't necessarily ideal, but in every strike there's always a negotiation between the employer and the union. And so I think, generally speaking, it was successful in that we didn't necessarily sacrifice the pension that we were going to, had the initial proposal been successful on the employer's part.
That's perfect. That's all we...
Well, there we have it. We can conclude that the subjects that were interviewed largely agreed that the desired goal of the strike was achieved, and that although it is costly, to their paychecks that is, the practice of civil disobedience in this context is indeed effective. However, civil disobedience itself encompasses a diverse set of actions for a wide variety of issues, and to paint all types of civil disobedience with a broad stroke would be irresponsible. However, in this case, civil disobedience did in fact help achieve the UCU's desired goal.